Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Diane Deziel and today I'm doing the last part of the Bustier and we'll work a little bit more on the cup. Now that we have the cup done, we could do a little modification or change the style by adding an extra seam that will allow us to add a little bit of shape to the side panel, because if you notice, the side piece is a little flat. Even if this is the style that is the most used, we could change it to the second most used style, and it's by adding an extra seam at the horizontal, so we could add a little bit of curve to the side panel. The way to do it is by cutting your pattern piece that you have for the basic cup, and we'll just retrace the new style line. You will see that I will trace right on the fabric an horizontal line, and then I will move this seam from nothing at the bottom and passing by more or less a centimeter away from the apex. That's going to allow me to have a much softer shape, and like I said, with the horizontal seam we'll be able to add a little curve to the side panel. To be able to retrace, I'm going to put my hand under, so it's a curved shape, and I'll be able to trace one shot the top part. Now when your lines are done, before to cut the fabric, I want you to position 8 new notches for assembling. So on the side piece, I'm going to put my double notch. Then on the top piece, that's going to be one piece now, I'm going to indicate my princess line, the new one. And just like we had it on the basic pattern, I'm going to put assembling notch, 2 of them, to assemble the 2 bottom pieces. Now we could cut the 3 new pieces. Now you could see a little bump over here, and by eliminating it, we're going to have a much softer cup. Now what I like to do to retrace my new pattern piece is to start over from my original cup piece without the seam allowance, so I keep more accuracy. Then you could take your fabric piece and put them back over. Remember that some area already have the seam allowance, so I'm going to place them over just like that and do the little modification according to the little draping that I did. Now when they're in good position, you're going to trace your new line. Now for the top piece, I'm going to just retrace it on a new piece of paper. Now remember that a little bit of the center front, the top part and the side area have the seam allowance. Only the bottom line doesn't have it. So you could now trace all around and indicate your notches. As you could see, I already indicate that I had my seam allowance over here. So I just have to add my seam allowance at the bottom and also on these 2 new pieces. We're going to do the little correction I was talking about, and we're going to do it on the side piece, on this line that goes with the top part, and we're going to do about 3 millimeters up in the middle of the line and connect to both sides at the seam line. Then we're going to correct the seam allowance, and we could cut all around the 3 pieces. Then we're ready to do the notch, and we're going to start with one of the bottom piece where we're going to do the double notch to assemble with the bottom piece, the 2 notches to assemble the princess line, and the new double notch to assemble with the top piece. Then we're going to verify the length of the piece according to the center front one. So just flip your piece, and from the seam line at the bottom, just double check and report your notch, holding it at the seam line to pivot, and check the length. Make sure you adjust it if you need. So if you do have a little excess, you're going to remove it, but make sure you keep a nice curve on top. Now it's time to check to see if your bottom piece goes well with the top piece. So you're going to start with the center front piece. Place your center front point right on the center front of the top part. And make sure you overlap seam line on top of seam line. And you're going to mark the end of the seam line at the intersection to have it on your bottom piece. For this one, it does fit perfectly. So I could continue with my second piece. I'm going to place again the intersection right at my intersection of the top piece and just continue. Make sure that your lines are going to match. You could also just mark your double notch to make sure that it does fit with the bottom piece. If there's a little change, you just do it. Now we could do the notch on the two last pieces. Your 3 new pattern pieces are done. You could now try it on, assemble, and get your little cup. Now a few more information. What I usually use for the inside of my cup is the laminated foam. So I show you here, laminated because they stick a fabric on both sides of the foam. It comes in different width, and this is helping you to keep the shape. It's lightweight, very easy to sew. If you cannot find the laminated foam, you could get that kind of felt fabric that is soft. They use it to do the shoulder pad, so that would be a good option. It's also very easy to sew. Now if you're planning to do your cup, you might need wire also, and you're going to choose your wire according to the size of the cup. Make sure you already know which side you're going to send the seam allowance, because if you send it down, you're going to need a longer wire. If you're sending it in, you're going to need a shorter one. So you're going to check on your pattern and make sure you keep about 1.5 centimeter on both sides of the cup, because you need this amount to be able to sew and top stitch or do your finishing inside. Now to sew your wire to your bustier, you could use bias, but the best thing to get is the tape that is specially done to insert your wire. So it's a double tape. It's made strong, so when you fold it, it's really stopping your wire from coming out, and that's a thing that you don't want it to happen. There's 2 kinds of tape that you could use. One is a little wrinkle like that, and the other one is really straight. I think the best one to use is the wrinkle one or the curve one, because it's going to adjust with the shape of your cup much easier than the straight one. Because it's a stiff tape, it's a little harder to come and sew both sides of the tape on a round shape. Now I know that bustier and cup and bra could seem a little complicated, but remember it's only 3 little pattern pieces that you assemble together. There's no complication to get your shape, and you could easily try it on, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be happy with the result. That's it for today. I really hope you enjoy. And I hope that I secure you a little bit on bra making, because it's not so complicated and I'm sure you're going to be able to do it. Thank you for watching, and I see you next time.